All right, so today I want to talk about getting off the hamster wheel of buying leads. Talk about the concept of creating wealth in this business, but not just on the commissions that you're taking in right now, making that 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 ROI, but really just creating systems out of the profits that you are earning right now and building processes behind it. So, working your book of business is a very big piece of this once you're a few years in, and it can spit out a lot of profits, a lot of new clients where you never have to buy a lead again. But I want to talk through this on how agencies and agents are going about doing this. So today I have Danny Ray on. You guys probably know Danny Ray, the legendary Danny Ray for life insurance telesales. We all know him on how, about on on how to sell over the phone. But he's recently gotten to a process where he's working his book of clients and generating business through there. And I kind of want to talk through that on kind of how he goes through his day and kind of visualize that for you all out there on kind of what that looks like so you can kind of see it. So, Danny,
Yeah.
tell us, man, you made the transition from, you know, working new leads. And yeah, I know you still work some new leads here and there, but
Yeah.
you're really put an emphasis on working your book of business these past few months.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. Where are you right now? And kind of tell us kind of how you've set this all up to start.
All right. I mean, obviously, when you're on the hamster wheel, doing your thing, it's really hard to get off it. But when you finally do, you really got to go ahead and the biggest thing I look at is loyalty, right? The client gives you loyalty when they buy a policy from you, so you got to return that loyalty. Okay, number one. Number two, and you got to really go ahead and it's not just a one and done deal. And that's unfortunate. A lot of agents out there, they got the one and done. Probably 9 out of 10 is one and done. You write it and you never talk to the client again. You're really leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. So what me and Lisa has done after the years of being on that wheel and pounding the phone, just like most agents do, is we got to a certain point where we woke up and said, you know what, we have an established business. Let's go ahead and switch gears. Okay. And what we did was we put, we hired an overseas back end office that really updates our clients and our book with the carriers, making sure who's in force and who's on the books, who lapsed, things of that nature. And what that has done is it given us an opportunity every single day to call and reach out to those clients. And the number one way we do that is basically having anniversaries every single day. We wake up and we log into our back office. We have all the anniversaries for that day and all the birthdays. And normally we have anywhere from 15 to 30 clients to call. Okay, so that gives us an opportunity to reach out to our clients. All right, and just if it's birthdays, now we don't walk into it either as this is a time to sell. We don't even do that. It's a time to service. You got to call your client. You got to show them that you care, and you're thinking about them, and it's not about the sale. All right. A lot of times when I get on the phone, because when you get on the phone, sometimes you get that client that the tonality says, "Okay, this is a sale, this is a backward door or a creative way to try to sell me something," and when you hear that, you got to really go ahead and address the elephant in the room and say, "Let's address the elephant in the room." This is not a sales call. This is an opportunity call for you. We need to update your beneficiaries. We haven't spoken to you in a couple of years. Okay. This is very, very important because God forbid when you pass away, we need to make sure that your information is up to date so it runs extremely smooth for your family. Okay. And that's what we're here for. This is what this call is all about. And I have a list of questions that will just maybe have the client. You want the client to start talking. You want this client to start talking about the pros and cons of the policy, or if their financial circumstances changed. So that's where it starts. And then you let the client talk. You ask good questions. And as you go along, you'll be shocked by the third or fourth question. I got clients saying, well, you know what? I've been thinking about, adding to my policy. Or I've been thinking about, can you get children's whole life policies for my grandkids? Well, they open up the door for that. And then you just service them. You educate them. All right. We don't try to sell on the first phone call. Sometimes it happens like the other day, but it sets the tone. You send them over a couple of brochures. The beauty about me and Lisa is the dynamic duo, I call us now, because
You
I'll
really are.
call them and then she'll reach out to them. So now they're getting two people, and when you do that, I think the success increases drastically. But even if
Interesting.
you're just a loan agent, you're going to do fine, But it's all about the questions that you ask.
So even on the birthday calls, what are you guys saying?
Just that's great, a good question. We reach out, okay. We either leave a voicemail if we can't get them on the phone, and then we send them an email. But when we get them on the phone, we basically say, hey, Mrs. Jones, just want to give you a call. Okay, wish you a happy 75th birthday or 81st birthday. And the response we get are incredible because they're so excited and thankful that we're calling out. Because unfortunately, some of their family members don't even.
Yeah.
So you really hit a spot and they remember that. That's something that it really hits them. It hits them at the emotion. Like, yeah, these guys get, and we don't even talk about sale. Do you have any questions with your policy? And we don't even talk about that. We just want to wish you a happy birthday. That's all. That's what this is all about. And we let them know that, your anniversary is coming up in a few months. We'll definitely reach back to you and go over your policy. And sometimes when you do that, when you don't pressure them, but they don't see a sale coming, they'll open the door for that. So it's just about going into it a mindset of servicing, not going on the phone like, all right, how can I try to sell this person? You don't want to have that mindset. You want to go into it. It's a relationship business. You got to think of it as you're plowing your field. Okay, you're laying down the seed. All right, and then you're going to water it for when the sun comes out. When that sun comes out, I'm very confident that both me and Lisa combined, we can write 10, 15 policies in a day sometimes. No doubt about it, the way this is starting to work out. So it's all about the journey of getting to that point.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, today's Monday that we're having this call.
Yep.
Friday, tell us about your day on Friday. How many opportunities did you have lined up when you walked into your CRM, and kind of walk us through your day, just so agents can see a typical day and kind of what you did there.
Yeah, so Friday I walked in, obviously walked 15 feet to my office in my home from my kitchen. It's funny, me and Lisa are in exactly the opposite end of the house in our offices, and we meet in the kitchen during the day. So it's pretty cool like that. But anyway, I walk in my office. First thing I do is I log into my back office, and right then and there, boom, I got all the anniversaries, all the birthdays. Lisa usually handles the birthdays, okay, and I'll start to I'll go back at the anniversaries. And this actually works too, guys, if you have LOA agents, because that's your book of business too. You own those clients, right? So this is one of those clients that I never talked to. It was actually an agent, an LOA agent, okay, from a while ago that I called up. That's our book. So I gave her a call. Okay, it started off with, she could tell she was a little hesitant. But I just started off and say, listen, I just wanted to give you a call. And I'm here to go and update you things. The agent that you currently were doing business with when you got the policy, okay, he's no longer with us. Great guy, just didn't follow our culture. So we just followed that way. And then I just went into it, basically saying, okay, I just want to update your policy. So I pull up their policy or her policy, and I'm going over, this one actually had two policies. So I said, all right, you have a $25,000 policy from, a couple of years ago, and it looks like a year later, you updated the policy and added on another 10. And she's like, yeah. And then we just started talking. I just started, asking questions like, had your financial circumstances changed? And she goes, no. And then you just zip your lip. Once they start talking, just let them talk. I'm about 70 years old. I'm done with this. I'm about to retire. I just want to relax, and then let them talk. So from that point, it went into, is the coverage that you currently have right now, is it secure for you? And she's like, you know what? I'm thinking about maybe adding maybe 5,000. I'm like, okay, I could definitely, when you're ready to do that. Again, I'm not pushing. I'm not jumping on that sale. All right, great. Whenever you're ready, I can definitely do that for you. I want to make it so she feels different. Like she's not being sales. She's being serviced, So, and then she'll go back into, I'm thinking about getting my grandkids some policies too. So I go into that a little bit and explain to her the options that she has. And what's good about me is all my son Danny's is got probably more insurance than most adults, right? So he's got a Foresters policy, Gerber, Mutual of Omaha. My son Danny's overinsured, right? So I can relate with the client. Listen, this is what I got my son. Okay, this is what I got my son. So I explain the situation to her and had different options that she has. And then I get down to I'm looking at the questions right now too. And then I get down to, you wear any life insurance options that may be beneficial to you? No, I don't know. And then I start talking about health impairments. Mrs. Jones, God forbid if you have a heart attack or a stroke and you're laying at the gurney in the hospital, not much this final expense policy is doing for you. Yeah, you're right. I'm like, literally. All right. And I go into my brother's situation, losing my brother, the cancer, him being 53 years old. And I say, listen, all of my clients that I have that that got a cancer policy and were diagnosed, they never called me and they were never upset about getting that policy. Okay. It's a 100% perfect record. Every one of them happy. So I go into that and it's just a conversation of relating to the client too. And for me, I have a lot to relate about, kids, I have a lot of tragedy in my family with health. So I can relate with them a lot better. So, and when you go at it, not being a salesy kind of call and a service call, they'll open the door for business all by themselves. And all you got to do is just be patient and have the conversation. That conversation went on for a little over an hour. Okay. And the end result was, I do it four juvies. Okay. She's adding another 15,000 because what she wanted is $10,000 for her burial. And she wants each one of her kids to have 10,000 each. She had 35,000. So now we're going to increase it 15,000. Probably going to go with Liberty Bankers. Okay. That's in the process right now. Okay. And the critical illness policy, we're going to go with surety. So this is, the surety has a really good plan at age 70. It's a critical illness policy. 70 is the cutoff date, whereas Mutual of Omaha's cutoff date is 64, but you still get a cancer policy after that. So it's all about engaging and just educating the client and just making sure they have little gaps that you can fill,
So out of that one service call from somebody you've never spoken with, there was 4 children whole life apps, 1 critical illness, and then 1 final expense.
One final, and yeah, one and add on to our final expense to make it up to 50. She has 35 at Mutual of Omaha, and 3 referrals.
Oh, just 3 referrals. Yeah. And guys, and that's the power. And I want, I was talking to Danny about his day. Well, we were kind of communicating over email about his day. And when I saw that message, I was like, this is what people need to hear right now, because this isn't, this is a typical day. If you work your book. And so if you're new in this business and you're figuring out, God, am I always going to have to buy leads? At some point you're going to build a book of business and you're going to be able to service it. And servicing it in itself is where you can create a lot of wealth in this business. Absolutely. All of that Danny did, all those sales, 0 acquisition cost.
Time.
And it's not a sales call, right? You're literally connecting with people. Like now your job is to connect, right? Absolutely. And then it's going to go on from there. Now he's got 3 referrals to work from there. And that was just one of his calls, one of the opportunity calls on Friday, right? Absolutely. So that's what it's all about. And I just want agents to kind of hear from you kind of what a day looks like and what it, from somebody being in the business for a while and having a book of business. So, you set it up where birthday calls and policy anniversary calls. Yes. And you work those. And those, you said you get about 15 to 30 a day. And
a good day. Yeah.
And go from there. And then you have your back office team who you give your logins to all the carriers. They update your CRM to status any of the pending lapses or any sort of changes that need to be made. Like that's what they do. So you just log in, show up to your dashboard and work it just like if you were working an internet lead. You instead are working at your AMS dashboard.
Yep. Yeah, and it's the amazing thing about it is when you walk into it, you got to put in your mind. Mindset's very important with this too, because not everybody's going to be as open as that lady the other day. Let's talk about the cons to this, right? You're going to walk into it. You really have to focus on, okay, I'm looking for the people. You got to be nice to everybody. Obviously, you're there. Literally, put your service hat on. You're there to help them. And you just got to understand that, you're not going to, every person you get on the phone is not going to be like that. Okay. So you got not a problem. Just want to give you an update here. Okay, great. Have a nice day. Get on to the next call. And just, you're searching for the 2 or 3. I really believe that, I can have 4 or 5 conversations like that a day, similar to what I had on Friday. And that's it. I'll write multiple policies a day and not have to be concerned about, spending $1,000 a month on marketing costs and everything else. But again, you got to do that to get to this point. Okay, it's you're establishing a business, you're growing your business like any business out there, whether you own a deli, a taxi cab company, you got to build it, you got to invest in yourself in the beginning. Without investing in myself and all the hard work in the beginning, this would be lip service. This wouldn't be, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. So you got to embrace the beginning. I call it the circle of life of a life insurance agent, and you got to go ahead and stick to the grindstone, because I'll tell you, every agent out there that sticks to this business and makes one less mistake a day always succeeds. Always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's end it on that, Danny. That was incredible insight. Thank you for sharing that with us. We'll get you back on here soon.
Sounds great, Jeff. Have a great day, buddy.